Good morning and welcome, a warm welcome. You're here to fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. This is my morning live stream that's on every morning at 10 a.m. in the morning, Monday through Friday, and again at 8 a.m. on Saturday, Sunday. My other live stream is in the evening. It's called Fight CPS, Stop Taking Our Children. It comes on at 7 p.m., 7 nights a week. These two live streams have been done on a regular basis for over 23 months. And I'm really happy to see you here because I want to help you with your what I call the child protection system, the CPS system. Every county has one in every state. And within that county, they're going to have different names. So that's why I use CPS. Not all places are child protection services or CPS. I just call the child protection system. So it may be the Department of Children's Services, DCS, or it may be the cabinet, or it could be the Department of Children and Family Services. Whatever the name is, I just use CPS. That just talks about a government entity that was mandated by Congress in 62 to protect our children from neglect and abuse and to do what's called family reunification. Family reunification. Now, family reunification means that they want to have the parents and the children returned. The child is only taken when there's danger in the home, but lately it seems like 50% of the cases, children are taken automatically. It's so that they can make more money. Because when they have a child in custody, they get money freely from the state who gets it from the federal government. That's where the money goes. It goes from the federal government to the state, and from the state, it goes to the counties. So you're talking billions of dollars goes to the state, and from the state to counties, millions. It's $1 trillion business. It's one of the most lucrative businesses out there. The only person I think that makes $1 trillion is the TV, the video card makers, the Nvidia, Nvidia, Nvidia. I'm trying to say it right. It's a U.S. Um, video market. You know, Intel and Nvidia are U.S. are U.S. and we're proud that they're U.S. But anyway, even China wants to buy the Nvidia video card. Um, they'll probably copy it anyway. Uh, so I'm glad that you found me. The time I gave you, by the way, is on a Pacific Standard Time. It's on the west coast of California. I broadcast live from from Surf City, USA. All right, we have one person in the room. Welcome. We're waiting for the rest of the stragglers to come in. I have about 30 to 50 people that hang out with me on a daily basis. This is a room where you get information about how to keep your children, hang on to your children, hang on to your family, how to fight them to get your children back, your families back. You see what this government entity does, and half the time they're bad. You don't know what the rogue one is that show up there. So this is the hard thing that you're going to face with is how to your case or how to get around it because no one knows about CPS. CPS is a very nerve wracking. You don't know about it till you first experience it. That's the sad part. And when you do find out, it's too late. There are 5 rules that I've come up with. One, you need to get an attorney. That is the key to success. Fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. You need a professional, like a doctor that knows how to work on a heart. You need an attorney that knows how to get children back. And I have that such attorney. His name is Vincent W. Davis, and he was my attorney. And he has that expertise. You've got to be trained and skilled and licensed in family law, juvenile law, and dependency law. Those 3 go together because that's what CPS is going to fight you on. It's not criminal, it's juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. That's all 3 things wrapped together. Well, Vincent Davis has that background. He's been fighting for 39 years, and he's gotten back thousands of children for families. So he knows he's the real deal. He's been doing that for 39 years. I think almost 40 years. Anyway, he works hard to get your kids back. And he knows the system. Now, he works not only in LA County, where his office is in Arcadia, he'll work in any state that asks him. His retainer is different because when he travels, he's got his airfare, his ground transportation, hotel accommodations, and food. Also, he has a license fee for practicing in that state. It's very difficult to keep track of 50 licenses and pay all that money if you're not going to be practicing law in that state. So those where the added expenses come in their play. But for instance, if you're in LA County, his retainer is 5,000. That is an approximation because every case is complex and different. So it depends on how complex the case is and how long the case been going on to determine the amount of retainer. Now he's $500 an hour. Again, that's approximate, but he's $500 an hour, and that's what he bill against it. Attorneys need to be paid because it's a very complex matter, and not all people want to do CPS. CPS can be a very bad thing, and they don't want to. They don't. They just. It is a hard decision. He also, when your case is over, he can do a civil lawsuit where he's sued the CPS both in state court or federal court and sued him for lots of money. Lots of money. Anyway, I'm here to help you with these rules I've come up with. Not only do you need to get an attorney, you need to do something about documentation. You need to organize that notebook with those tabs that organizes all the different topics you may have. I mean, you may have to do drug testing, so you need to put all your drug results in there. You may have to do a domestic violence program, so you put your certificates in there. You may have to do parenting classes, so you put your certificates. There is also court documents and social services documents. There's two kinds of documents. There's your case plan, a plan that talks about reunification and getting your family back. It starts with a complaint either by a layperson or a professional. A professional is your doctors, your nurses, your school administrators, your teachers, counselors. Is also the firemen and the policemen. These are professionals mandated by law to protect our children, to protect our children. Now, the other kind of person is the layperson. And being a layperson, you got to be careful about the layperson because even the professionals get it right only 50% of the time. That's right, 50%. So for every two, one of them is right. Now, the layperson is more like 75% wrong, 25% right. They only get a quarter percent of it right. And a lot of laypersons use it as for alternative motives, meaning they want to punish a neighbor for his yard overgrowing their yard or their dog barking too loud or the baby crying or things like that. So they'll call in and make up some story. The problem is in the investigation, they'll find out that these people do not have a child. So that's where the falsification comes in there. I want to give a warm welcome to one of the first people in this room this morning. And his name is David Hammond. Glad to meet you, David. You just called the clerk of the court to see when my motion to intervene was going to be heard, and they told me that I had to reschedule one from last month. I said, when did that happen? So I'm 6 days away from my mother's merit hearing and have to depend on the judge to allow me to intervene after serving all four parties. Apparently, what has happened is you're probably talking about adult services. Now, this shows primary children protection services. Um, and I have no problem addressing adult services because that's important. Adults are abused too, as well as children. So I'm glad you brought that up. So I think you have an adult case, and you're probably something about called intervene. Apparently, it looks like maybe your mother is experiencing some problems, and you may have to be a guardian to look after your mom. You may have to do a legal thing. She may be dependent on somebody there. And you say four parties, so I assume that one party is adult services. I don't know who the other three parties, the judge is one of them. But can you tell me more information? Also, David, what part of the world are you from? Let me put out how they do messages on here. To text a message, all you do is make a question or a comment about CPS. Please state your first name, your city or county, your state, and if you're outside the United States, put down your country. Also, please tell me about your case from the beginning to where you're at the moment. So I'll let you digest that a minute there, and you can get back to me with the. Um, so that's one way, text and messages. Now, another way is to be a guest on my live stream. And I'll put up that banner too. I'll put up that banner too. Um, so David says it is his 74-year-old mother. Wow. I'm a dinosaur too. I'm 75. It's hard to believe that I need adult services. But it's your 74-year-old mother. Now, the department, I'm just going to call it the Department of Social Services lead attorney, memorial guardian, ad litem attorney. Oh, geez, you got some terrible people involved. And my mother's attorney have deleted attorney for, we don't want to use names. Um, uh, are the names of the victims. We don't need to do that. So you're the lead attorney, okay? You're representing your mother. And what part of the country is this? Is this in the United States or is this in another country? Um, memorial guardian ad litem attorney. Well, ad litems I don't like at all. Casas I don't like. Ombudspersons I don't like. Um, Department of Social Services lead attorney. Okay, the one that is representing the adult services. Somehow your mother must be in a guardianship with somebody. How is your mother? Is your mother taking care of herself, or does she have a guardianship? For instance, are you the guardian, David, taking care of your 74-year-old mother? Or are you just the attorney representing her? Um, and what's going on? What is adult services says is happening to your mother? Is she being harmed by another member of the family? Is she being harmed by adult services? What's going on, David? You need to tell me some more information. Meanwhile, that banner I have up there is how to be a guest on this live stream. And it's really important to be a guest. Um, all you have to do is email Grace and pick one of my 14 shows. We're waiting for David to uh, give me some answers. By the way, being a guest, I can take up 9 of you at one time. So that is a good thing about being a guest. You can talk about your show. Now, you email her to say you want to be a Bob's Sunday morning show or Bob's Saturday night show or Bob's Friday morning show or Wednesday. You just pick one day of the week and the evening, and she'll take care of the rest. She'll send you a link that you copy and paste in your browser that will take you to the application called StreamYard. That's the software application I use. It uses YouTube to transmit. It uses YouTube to transmit. And it's a special application I use that sets up this room. And I'm glad, David, that you've called in and that you're talking about this case. That's really good. That's really good. um, because we don't talk about adult services too often. We only talk about child. But I'm glad to talk about it. I had a lady that lost her mother from Illinois. That adult services was treating her so bad, so wrong. She lost her mother, which is really sad. She was fighting to save her mother. So I know how important it is for your mother. So if you give me some more information, I don't need the names of individuals. I just need the people that are involved. And maybe there's the lead attorney. Who is Guardian? Is that a entity that's trying to take care of your mother? I'm trying to guess what you're talking about. David, if you can answer me. In fact, I need to put up my other banner that I can take phone calls. So maybe you can call in at 626-698-0990 and we can talk about it. We can talk about it. And here we go. Okay. He's from Westminster, South Carolina. This is the second time they found an emergency protected custody of my mother. Okay. Someone is causing her mother harm. I found a motion to intervene on the first 72-hour hearing. They didn't allow it. Why would they not allow you to file a motion to intervene on your mother? Why can't you just take care of your mother? Why can't you get guardianship of your mother? Then you filed a motion to intervene, after which the lawyer was fired from this must be the county OCD uh, Department of Social Services. Now I'm 6 days out from my mother's merit hearing, and I have served every notice. Okay, so there's a hearing coming up about your mom's merit. Who has custody of your mother? Is she by herself? Has somebody appointed her as guardianship? Why could you not be guardianship of your mother if she needs help? I don't know what help she needs. Uh, so okay, we have a phone number here. Okay. Good morning. You've reached Bob Pace's live show here. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
This is David Hammond.
Oh, good, David. I'm glad you called me. Have we spoke before, David?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Have we spoken before, David?
Yeah, we have. I've talked to you quite a few times. I think we've talked about 4 or 5 times so far.
Right. I do remember you now. Now, what is your situation with your mother? What's your situation with your mother?
Well, back in October the 11th, my mama on was placed on emergency protective custody. By the time I had intervened in that case, the merits hearing was already over with. After I got the motion to intervene, I filed a motion to intervene afterwards, and they told me that they weren't going to retry the merits hearing, but they would they wouldn't let me intervene. So when I intervened, I got the guardian ad litem worked for the DSS department in Oconee County. That was the guardian ad litem lawyer for my mama's guardian ad litem. The guardian ad litem never came to my house and did any type of investigation. She was just another cog in the machine that pushed my mama out and did what they did to her.
Well, okay, hold on 1 second. You have a mother, if I remember correctly. This is with adult services. Who is taking care of your mother? I thought you were.
I was, and they took her on August the 10th. Well, I got her back April the 6th.
Well, why did they take her? Why did they take her?
April 4th.
Why did they take your mother?
Twice.
Why?
They have taken her twice. The first time they took her, they my demeanor, I wasn't able to get any of the people. I couldn't get any people to come out here and take care of her. Now, once I got her back, which was April the 4th, I got her back April the 10th. The judge signed the order to April the 4th, but the nursing home didn't release her until after April the 4th. And
Okay,
after April 4th,
there is the key. She's in a nursing home. Who put her in the nursing home?
Department of Social Services, and they put her in a nursing home 200 miles away from where she lives.
Now, wait a second. Why did they put her in a nursing home? Why couldn't you take care of her?
Because they said that I couldn't find services, and I wasn't allowed to be a part of the trial because I didn't have my motion to intervene. I didn't know anything about how to become a
I know
the trial.
the part of the trial is a separate issue. I'm not talking about the legality things. I'm talking about the very basic fundamental things. If she's your biological mother and you her son, you have the right to take care of her and also the right to say where she will be housed. Why did social services step in to enforce your mother to be in care? Why did they step in?
Because I went to the hospital. I had a doctor's appointment on October 11th or October 10th. I had a doctor's appointment. When I got my doctor's appointment in, I told them that I was going to. I told them that I was going to come pick her up at the hospital. Well, before I got to the hospital, the cop called me to place her on emergency protective custody, and
wait, okay, but why this good? I mean, what is going on? Is someone badgering your mother? Are they thinking you're badgering the mother? Your mother?
No. My mama, when I got her home, she was only home 19 days and recovering from the bed sores that she had from the nursing home that they put her in.
Okay, okay. First of all, have you tried initially to be the guardianship of your mother? Because maybe because you're not the guardian of your mother, they're not recognizing you. Is that why?
It could be, but when I get her back, I want to put all that stuff into high gear and get it taken care of.
You should do it right away. You should not wait. I think what the problem is your mother is encountering some undue stress to her. I don't know what's happening to her or what they're accusing, but they seem not liking you because you're not taking care of your mother. I'm not saying you're not taking care of your mother, but they seem that they don't like you, as I think what is happening. I don't know.
Yeah, because I got them all on video breaking the law. I've got everybody on video.
Well, I understand. There's two things happening. There's the well-being of your mother, and then there's the criminal activity of social services not taking care of your mom properly. And I understand what the situation is here. The problem is the legality of things. If you don't have custody of your mother, if you're not got guardianship, what I mean by that is guardianship of your mother, then you have no, I guess you have no right, even though you're a sibling of your mother, they feel you don't have right and they suspect some harm has come to your mother. Before the bed sores, why was your mom have to go to the hospital in the beginning? Why did she have to go to the hospital?
Because she had a fever and I thought she was having a stroke.
Okay. So what was wrong with you taking her to the hospital? What they say that you did wrong?
I had a doctor's appointment myself. So on that first intervention or that first emergency protective custody, I had a doctor's appointment on the first one. So after the first one, I was placed. I was on my way back to the hospital to pick her up when they called the police or the sheriff's deputy called me up and asked me, "Well, why did you send your mama to the hospital and all this stuff?" And when I told them, I said, "Well, I had a doctor's appointment myself, so I didn't want to leave from my doctor's appointment
Oh boy.
But the
Now,
court
are you
reported
now? You
just
say that you replace an attorney. Are you an attorney yourself?
no, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I just did it because the adult protective custody is only like 8 pages long to study, so you you don't really have much to study in in adult protective custody. You know, the hard stuff for me, basically, it was an open book. I'd read the book and do what it said to do, but the hard stuff was figuring out what font the court wanted you to write in and what what like double space 12 number 12 point on your font and stuff. That was the hard stuff to figure out. But the adult law part was easy in order to come up get a motion to intervene, how to register, how to become an intervener. All that stuff was basically an open book test. I could do that and just file the paperwork myself. So after I got that good standing, I was going to replace the guardian ad litem, but I told the last lawyer that instead of replacing the guardian ad litem, let's just let my mama come home, and that'll be the end of that. And that's exactly what happened. The guardian ad litem put my mama in. The lawyer did that, and that was that. And they let her come home April the 4th, and or no, April the 10th. The judge signed the paperwork April the 4th, but they didn't let her come home until April the 10th. So on April the 10th, I got my mama home, and the day after that, I took her to the hospital to be checked out because she seemed like she was having a stroke again. Well, after I got her home from the hospital, they told me that I was going to. They told me that I was going to need to get a emergency bed and all that stuff in. Well, after that, I got her home 8 days after she admitted into the hospital, and then they started services with her here at home on April 23rd. Well, after April 23rd, she wasn't drinking or getting much nutrients, so I decided to send her back to the hospital that placed the emergency protective custody on her the first time. Well, when they did, when she got there, they put another emergency protective custody on her, and then shipped her out of the hospital before they even put the feeding tube into her belly. So I got her back to so they shipped her out of the hospital and down to a nursing home, and then she had an emergency down there, which the hospital called me from down there, and she still had the feeding tube installed, and she was gagged when she was being fed, so she about died at that nursing home, and that was what happened there. And now my mom is married during April 9th, and I called the court to court like 20 minutes ago, and the court to court told me that, oh, you were supposed to file for another motion to intervene and get another court date. I said, really? I said, when did that happen? Well, you were supposed to do it. You never have. I said, well, why didn't anybody say, David, you need to file for another motion to intervene
Here's
or
the
another
problem
hearing?
is that they're going to say all that because you're dealing with lawyers. You're dealing with the law. You're not a lawyer.
Well,
And that's why they're
this
taking
is the
advantage
first
of you.
court.
I mean, that the court deals with only lawyers. They don't care people pro se. When you're trying to defend it yourself, you're at the mercy of the judge. The judge is horrible. The judge hates people that are pro se. What charges have you been formally charged with?
None. None. None.
Okay. So
I've been
why
investigated twice by my local law enforcement. The detective's name was David Skelp. No charges were ever filed against me. He told me that both times it was unfounded.
well understand that first of all you don't want to use names here on the live stream. So your detective has found you not guilty, so there's no charges against you. Why have you not done what's called a guardianship of your mother. Why have you not applied for that?
I will when I get her back on the second EPC, a guardianship of my mother. I will.
No, you need to do it now. If you have the paperwork in progress, then you'll be better off.
Well, do you do that through family court or do you do it through?
You do that through family court, yes.
Okay.
You
Well,
just apply for guardianship, get the paperwork in there so that everybody knows you're going for guardianship. Once you get guardianship of your mama, then all these people got to bow out of it. See, your problem is you're putting the cart before the. I mean, you're going backwards with all this. You let them chase your tail in circles because they know you don't have guardianship of your mother. Someone has to take possession of your mother because she can't take care of herself. She needs someone. You
right.
don't want social services to take care of your mother. She ended up with bed sores. She's had wasted trips to the hospital. I could go on and on. Protective Services is not doing a very good job of your mother. But until you get a guardianship of your mother, everything you're trying to do is backwards. And maybe they know that. Maybe they know that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I got a lawyer friend that I can call and ask that how to start that process. I'll call her up and see what she thinks.
Well, yeah, you need to get the guardianship. That's the whole key to the success. For a while, your mother, I guess, was taking care of herself by herself. Is that what happened?
Well, we've lived together for the past 13 years. So,
okay.
When she had
Why? Okay. Why have you not? They don't recognize the fact that you've been taking care of your mother.
Well, I mean, I was recognized by the hospital, but the one that never recognized it.
Wow.
The courts never recognized what the hospital said.
Yeah.
As her primary caregiver.
Wow. I'm so sorry you're going through all this.
Well, I mean, I got it under control. I just didn't know that I had to have to ask for another hearing for my motion to intervene. Nobody ever said that.
Well, they're not going to because they expect you to know the law. You see, you don't understand how the courts work. There is a judge who acts as a referee in court matters. Those judges can be bad or good. You don't know. You don't know the background. And then who works in the courts are what are called lawyers. The people, the outside people, are outsiders. They're not privy to know how the court runs. Only lawyers and judges know how the court runs. There's a bailiff that keeps order in the courts that hands paperwork to the judge from the attorneys, and he keeps orders. There is a clerk that records and documents everything. That's all there is in a court. Then, if you have a jury trial, they're the jury members, and there's 12 of them. That's if there's a criminal charge being pushed against you. Apparently, your detective doesn't think there's enough to have a criminal charge against you.
Right. Well, I'm going to hop off here because I'm going through my records right now so I can be prepared for the September 9th hearing, okay?
Yeah, that September 9th hearing, you got to be careful what you say. You should have an attorney representing you at that hearing because
I can't afford one
right now. I know that, and they know that too. They're going to take advantage of you. But if you did today, if it's still not too late, I'd go to the court, start your paperwork on your guardianship, get that in the process. Because once you have guardianship of your mother, They can't do what they're doing. Because if you have
They can't
guardian,
keep
go ahead.
if so once I have even before a marriage hearing, once I have guardianship, they
Well,
can't
no, they
remove it
can
or they
probably still do something, but it's going to be harder because they recognize that you're trying to get control of your mother.
oh, okay. All right.
See,
Well,
the
I just
key to the success of your mother is going to be someone to take care of her legally, that has the right to legally take care of them.
well
Living
I
with your
was ordered
mother, it doesn't count.
I was ordered on the last motion to intervene. I was ordered to be the person that took care of her.
Okay, if you're ordered, do you have that court order?
Well, I was. Wait a second. I was ordered to be her payee, but not by name. It said
Oh,
whatever
a payee
facility
is
is
something
taking care
different.
of her.
I'm talking about a guardianship. A guardianship is someone that makes all the decisions, how they breathe, how they eat, where they sleep. It's more than just financial matters. You may have been just ordered to take care of the finances because you're the one that gets the money.
Oh, okay.
But that's
Well,
not a
we'll see how it
guardianship.
plays out September 9th. I'm pretty sure my motion to intervene will be heard on September 9th. I wanted to be able to subpoena my own witnesses, but I've got enough proof that she had the bed
Well,
sores.
you're trying to be an attorney. You're trying to do what's called pro se. If you're going to be an attorney,
Yeah,
you
I know.
need to know the law. If you're subpoenaing
Yeah,
witnesses and so forth like that, you need an attorney to represent you. If you're going to represent yourself, then you need to know the law. You overnight have to learn to be a lawyer. You have to learn how to present things, documents, and so forth. It's a very complex thing. Getting a
yeah,
guardianship, getting the paper rolling with a guardianship is one of the first things you need to do. And you have every right to be the guardianship because you've been living with your mother and taking care of your mother. So if you get that paperwork rolling, they'll have a hearing of being a guardianship. And they'll have to prove that you're unsuitable or unfit to be a guardian of your mother. See, that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to prove that you're unfit to take care of your mother.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I
That's what they're
agree.
going to do. They're going to sit there and say that they're going to say that you're too stupid or dumb or whatever, and that they think that you're not fit as a human being to take care of another human being.
Yeah, I agree.
And the thing is that it's really tricky because you deal with a very corrupt system there. You already told me the place is corrupt.
Well, the judges seem to be pretty. There's. I ran into one corrupt judge, and one of one of the corrupt judges told me that I had to serve everybody on my in my mama's case, and I said, well, that's that's fine.
Well,
So if
anytime you're pro se and you're an attorney, all parties involved have to be served of what emotion you're trying to do or something. You see, you don't understand how the court works with lawyers.
well,
Lawyers make
I
motions
probably
and they make you know appearances for people, subpoena people. They make motions and they make arguments. You got to know how an attorney works. And they're not going to say, well, just because he's stupid or because he doesn't know better, if he's going to try to fight in this court, he better be an attorney himself.
yeah,
I mean, I'm really sorry that that's come to this because I know you love your mother. You wouldn't be doing the things if you didn't love your mother if you wouldn't be doing that. But getting a
yeah. Well, I got
guardianship,
her out the first time. I'll get her out the second time.
I know,
It's just
get that guardianship. Get that guardianship, okay, David?
I will. I'll
And
so
thank you
I
so
file
much
that
for
in the
calling
family
in.
court.
Thank you so much for calling in. I hope I was some help for you. I hope I was some help for
You,
you.
you will, but I'm going to get the guardianship. I do that through family court, correct?
Yep, 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 yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, David Hammond. And get yourself an
Yes, sir.
attorney to help you do that guardianship. Be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Get that
All
girl
right.
that she
Thanks.
said no. Talk to her. Okay. All right. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, David. God bless
Yes,
you.
sir.
All right. Bye bye. Okay, that was David Hammond, who's talked to me before. I recognize the voice and the situation. I don't get too many cases on here with adult services. It's an area that we forget a lot about. We have child protection, which this is the focus, the theme. We also have adult. This is the second case that I've dealt with adult services. The first one was a lady, Diane, who's in Illinois, that had her mother who just recently died. Okay, we got another call in. Okay. Good morning. You've reached the live stream of Bob Pace. How can I help you? Hello there. Okay, I guess someone had called for a different matter. It always seems to be that way. Anyway, my phone number is up. I have about, well, we're running low on time right now um, because it's 11 o'clock. I do have to wrap up the live stream here. I do have to wrap up the live stream. And so far, we've had this morning with David Hammond, who's talking about adult services. You know, adults are abused as much as children. The problem is a lot of adults, if they're young adults, they are special needs and they need a guardianship. If they're an older person, they need a guardianship, someone that can look out after them. It's a hard thing when you're an older adult because as you get old, you age and it does interfere with you taking care of your well being. You're not as strong as you want to be. So I was really glad that David called. And if any of you out there listening, please, you can talk about your adult services here. That is fine. We can talk about child protection system and adult services. And we have an attorney that can help you too. It's a part of family law. It's a part of family and dependency law. It's not juvenile for adult services, but it is family and dependency law. And our adults are being abused. There's no question about that. Um, there's no question about that. Well, I can try to help you with the resources and where to look for things. Byron Hopkins, if you could tell me where about are you? What city, state? Are you in a different country? That's fine because I have 23 countries that I talk to in all the 50 states. But I have resources and information. And I can look up things. What is your case about, Byron Hopkins? Well, I'm trying to respond to you, Byron Hopkins. You got to tell me what your case is about. Is it something dealt with adult services or special need of adults? Or is it a child protection matter? Is it a child protection matter? I needed to first identify what group of individuals you're talking about you need help on so that I can steer you to the direction of the resources. Um, so you got to tell me further, Byron Hopkins. You got to tell me further. Okay, Byron, I want to help you, but you got to help yourself. The way you help yourself is to talk to me. It's too late to do the phone calling, by the way. I got to take that down because we got to close up shop here. I'll put up the Doge information. I'll explain to you that about a moment. But going back to my good friend here, Byron Hopkins, I want to help you, but I don't know where you are in this world, and I don't know what your resources you're looking for because I don't know what situation that you have going on. Hello, Melissa Phillips. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate the thumbs up. I put up Doge because that is a government entity that started in January of this year. That was created by Donald Trump. One of his campaign promises that he would investigate all government entities to see if there's government waste or corruption going on. Right now, social services is being investigated. I know firsthand because I was on the phone with a caseworker uh, and a person from Doge, a supervisor, came on, introduced themselves, and said they were listening to make sure I was treated fairly by social services. So they are investigating social services. The child protection system is a part of social services, and they'll be investigated too. And I hope that they'll get all the corruption. So, meanwhile, I'm telling everybody check out the Doge website. It shows exactly what they're doing and who they're investigating. It also will offer you a job, a career job, not an hourly job, but a career job. They have a phone number so you can call in and talk to them. It's the White House area code 202. And then they have the email, doge at mail.house.gov. And you can send your email with your problems that you're having with your CPS case in your city. We all have to work together to talk to someone about how bad CPS has become. 50% of the time that they're incorrect, the mandated reporters, and 75% the laymen are incorrect. So there's a lot of bad CPS out there. But I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank Byron Hopkins. I'd love to give you resources, but I need more information from you. I want to thank David Hamilton from South Carolina that called in about adult service matter, about his mother who has been wrongly, I guess, abused. And I told him he needs to get a guardianship of his mother, who's 72 years old. She needs him. His mother was living with him, but apparently something went awry, and social services has got involved with adult protection of his mother. There is protection of adult services. They do have to intervene because sometimes adults are abused. It isn't something that should not be in there. But I want to thank all of you that taken the time to listen to me. Remember, I have 5 rules. I've talked about 2 of them a little bit. My other shows, I have the rules in depth. Please listen to my other shows. And please come back. I will help you. I'm here for you. I care about you, and I want to resolve your problem. If it takes a whole hour to talk to me or a couple days, I'll do so. All you have to do is talk to me. So please do not forget to fight for your children, fight for your family. You need your family first and your son or daughter in your life. So God bless you all. And there'll be a brief video about how bad CPS is and how you can correct it, how you can get an attorney. So listen to the video. It's a short one. It's only a couple of minutes. And with that being said, I will see you again tonight at 7 p.m. That's 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. God bless you and have a beautiful day. This is Bob Pace.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges. Another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left.